everybody, hi. This is Arun from the Goal Difference in yet another video podcast episode number 6. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about four things. Firstly, we're going to talk about the ins and outs during the international transfer window. We're going to then talk about the must-haves that we have prepared, TGD pundits, for those managers who are on a wild card and who are considering drastic changes to their team. Then we are also going to do our goal difference team strategy as to what changes to make for game week 5, and also we're going to have a captaincy vote. We have with us Sumit and Sairam on our today's podcast, and I think let's get started. So over the international break, the most important player was Heung-min Son. He had a price rise up to 9.1, and about a million managers signed him after his 18-point haul against Manchester United. We thought he would not play. We sold him, but he punished us really badly with scoring 2 goals and giving an assist. And the second most signed in player was James Rodriguez with half a million transfers in. Those don't matter as they are the form team in the Premier League right now. In terms of sales, Timo Werner has had another price drop, and many managers are getting rid of the German. Around 360,000 managers are getting rid of Timo Werner from their teams. And surprisingly, the second most transferred out player is Kevin De Bruyne. He had a knock in the Belgium squad, and he's been sent home as a precautionary measure. And this is the first time I think De Bruyne is blanked in two consecutive game weeks in 21 games. That shows how consistent Kevin De Bruyne is actually. Um, so as of now, I'm going to take you to our team, and we're going to discuss the must-haves that the TGD team has put up for FPL managers who are on the wildcard. So, in the must-have section, the first player that I would be picking for FPL managers to consider is Jack Grealish. Grealish is the informed midfielder. He was the most points scorer in game week 4, and at the 24-point haul against Liverpool. And he is someone that we all must consider taking in our FPL teams because if you see his form, he's been an absolutely tremendous form. He got a goal against Fulham as well in his last game, given 8 points. And his fixtures as well show for good reading. After the Leicester game, he's got the home games against Leeds and Southampton, and he's got Brighton visiting the Villa Park. So I think Grealish is someone who we all must consider buying in our teams, as he's the captain of Aston Villa, and everything good that goes through Aston Villa will go through Grealish. So I think he should be the next player to consider. I'd like to go on to Sumit, who's going to give his player for consideration for FPL managers.
Thanks, Arun. So the player that who I think or who I feel any FPL manager who's playing their wild card or should pick is Heung-min Son. As Arun stated earlier, there have been about 1 million transfers to Son already. That just shows how he's hit the ground running since the game started. Yes, he was, he blanked in the following game week. Manager sold him. Then he came back with a 24-point return. Then he was a doubt for United game. Uh, Played the game, 18-point return. If you look at his fixtures, he has a pretty decent run up till about game week 8. After game week 8, it's where the fixture difficulty rating changes. And I feel that he's a must-own, especially with the way Jose is playing his philosophies right now. You can see Kane pushing a little bit more deeper and allowing Son more space to run ahead. So I feel Son should be the player.
Okay, thanks, Sumit. Now I'd like to go to Sai for his pick on who FPL managers should consider who are on a wildcard.
Thanks, Arun. So a good follow-up to Heung-min Son would be my must-have player, that is Harry Kane. Now, there are a couple of reasons. Obviously, the first one being that in game week 2, 3, and 4, he's given like consistent returns. He has already scored 3 goals in 4 games and given 6 assists, something that you don't see usually from Kane. That actually shows that, apart from the goal scoring abilities, he can create goals for others as well. My second reason would be with regard to the ICT index. Now, in ICT, he's currently ranked 1 out of 69 forwards. Now, that tells you something, right? That the threat level and creativity and influence of this player is probably unmatched right now. My third reason being that, like Sumit said, the fixture list that Spurs have is very favorable. They play West Ham, they play Burnley, they play Brighton, and then West Brom. Now, all of them have not had a very great start to the season. They've conceded fair amount of goals as well, because of which I think Kane can either get either a goal or he can create some chances for Son. I think I just probably want to mention another point. With Gareth Bale's return, the creativity in the midfield might just improve in the next game week or two once Bale, starts for Spurs every game week. That could see, some of the pressure being taken off Kane in terms of creating, and he might look to score goals more consistently for Spurs.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for your inputs. I'd like to go back to Sumit for our next player, who he would be sharing. So, Sumit.
Thanks, Arun. All right, so my next player is going to be Leicester's Timothy Castan, who surprisingly is only owned by 19.4% of the current FPL managers. He is the top scoring defender, and so I'm going for Castan over Justin mainly because Ricardo Pereira is set to be expected by the end of October. So once Pereira is back, I'm assuming that Pereira is going to go back right back and Castan is going to go left, which shows that Justin is going to lose his place. And Castan, since game week 1, has shown his attacking potential. I think, except for the West Ham game, where I think the whole Leicester team performed very poorly, he's been giving attacking returns back to back. And I feel that he's going to continue this, especially with Vardy running through the middle. So I feel Castan is a defender that should be there, and I would also say that Castan should be the costless defender amongst the five, and not more than five. Like he's currently 5.8. So managers who haven't bought him yet, I don't think that you should have a defender more than 5.8 million right now in the FPL team. The way the games are going and everything, so Castan should be their number one pick.
Okay, thanks, Sumit. So there's one more player who I'd like to share, who I'd like to suggest to FPL managers, and that would be Martinez from Aston Villa. So Aston Villa and Martinez has the highest save percentage in the league so far, with around 86%. He saved a penalty on his opening day against Sheffield United in the 1-0 win, giving him bonus points as well. He also kept a clean sheet against Fulham in game week 2. So that shows that Villa's perfect start is also down to Martinez's good keeping. Only Salah has scored against Martinez this season, and he's in Villa's heroic 7-2 performance against Liverpool. And he is very, he's cheap at 4.7 million. I think it's an easy route for managers to get such a keeper with such good returns. Although he may not continue that form, but I think he's a good, a good keeper at that price to have. Because he's easily worth, he should be a 5 million keeper according to me. But yeah, I mean, he's priced at 4.7, and I think he is a total bargain for FPL managers who want to consider him. Okay, to our next segment now, it would be transfer strategy basically. It would be our transfer strategy for game week 5. And for this, I'd like to start off with Sumit. I want to ask him what does he think of the TGD FPL team and how we should go moving forward. I can see Nyland's contract has been terminated by Aston Villa, and also Vinagre has moved to Olympiacos. Kevin De Bruyne and Maximan have been flagged. So I think this team requires some changes, and I'd like to know everybody's opinion on this. So I'd like to start off with Sumit's opinion on what he thinks should be the team's changes for Game Week 5. Over to you.
So I'm not personally worried about Nyland that much, mainly because a lot of managers own him, so I don't see his price dipping anytime soon. Um, Saint Maximin has been injured throughout this since the start of the season. According to me, I've seen a yellow triangle since the start. Like every single game week, I think he missed one game, but every other game he's played, he's always ended up with an injury or something like that. But he's ended up playing the next game, so I wouldn't worry about that. Kevin De Bruyne came back early, didn't miss the game against Iceland, if I'm not wrong, which only shows that he is going to play against Arsenal, so I wouldn't worry about that. Moving over to my transfers, I still feel that we have to do a couple of changes, and I feel that we should do it this game week and not wait because I think we've been very safe till game week 4. Like only either carry forwarding transfers is doing one transfer. My strategy for this game week would be to go -8. It would be to remove Timo Werner, Doherty, and Vinagre. My replacement for Timo Werner would be Jimmy Vardy, and I mean, that's just straight up a very simple option. I mean, Vardy with the number of penalties being given and Vardy being the source of goals for Leicester, Vardy is like a really amazing pick. Going back to defense, I would replace Doherty with Matt Target from Aston Villa. And I was confused between Target, Tyrion Mings, and Konsa. It's just that Target is a cheaper option at 4.5, so I would go with Matt Target. Um, like how Arun spoke about Martinez having the highest save percentage and Aston Villa being very tight at the season. They have a very fit squad. You have McGinn who's back, which is one of the reasons why they're playing good attacking football with Matty Cash, Mings, Constant, Target at the back, and Martinez at the stick. It's just a really it's a good solid defense. So I feel they would, give you good points. Now for Vinagre, I would remove him and take in Justin. Now I would want Castan, but the only reason I'm not going for Castan is I'm saving that extra money so that the following game week, if any changes need to be done, say as Zaha or Saint Maximin, we could change it. I was actually a bit confused between Justin and Tariq Lamptey. Now, I'm not going for Tariq Lamptey for two reasons. One is because with the five defenders that you can currently see on screen, the fixtures complement all of them pretty well. That you always have good three defenders with favorable fixtures playing up to game week 8. Had it been Tariq Lamptey instead of Justin or Matt Target, that would have been the case. So yeah, this is my transfer strategy: a -8, Werner, Doherty, Vinagre out, Vardy, Target, and Justin in.
That's a good strategy, Sumit. You're just improving the team in one shot rather than taking playing safe and going one transfer a week. That's good.
Yeah,
Okay, I'd
I
like
feel
to.
that's needed. I get
Yeah.
the fact that not taking a hit and saving this, but I just feel you should go -8.
Yeah, I'm just against hits for some reason, man. It's everyone has their own
Yeah,
reason to
yeah,
go for
fair
it.
enough.
It's cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to now bring in our next pundit, Sairam, for his transfer strategy for game.
Sure. So, like you can see, I think our team needs a very big revamp in terms of the midfields and the defense. Also, we don't have Everton players who are giving the majority of the returns for most of the managers. But I think it would be a wise decision to go for Everton players if and when we play a wild card, since we can do a lot of swapping around there. For now, for this game week, I think if I have to make a change, it would be for Vinagre, since I would see his price falling below 4.3 as well, and replacing him with Roman Size. Now, Wolves have a decent run of fixtures, and Size has given quite a few points for Wolves, including a goal as well. I'm assuming that he'll continue his form from the last game week into the coming game weeks, hopefully for us at least. And yeah, it always helps to have like a Wolves defense in your team for the longer term, because even if they blank for 1 or 2 game weeks, I think in the longer term they are bound to give you a lot of returns.
So you're going in for size. Oh, okay, that's good. You're just making a transfer. Um, for my transfer strategy for game week 5, I would remove Vinagre as well, and I am not a fan of taking hits, so I would just remove Vinagre and go for Luke Ayling from Leeds United. So Luke Ayling is a right back that plays for Leeds, and Leeds conceded just 2 shots against Manchester City. They held Manchester City really well at Ellen Road, and I think they are the team to watch this season. Marcelo Bielsa has got them playing some attacking football. He's also focused on defense. They play well and expansive, and he gets forward a lot. So I think for me, Luke Ayling would be the perfect replacement for Vinagre, and he's only priced at 4.5. So we have some sufficient funds in the bank, which we could use to improve our squads later on. Like Sumit mentioned, if we would want to change Saint Maximin or Zaha, we could upgrade them. But as of now, for my transfer for this game week would just be the single transfer, and it would be Luke Ayling instead of Ruben Vinagre. So that would be my transfer for this game. Okay, now to our
So I
next
think we
segment.
can agree that with everybody wants at least Vinagre out of the team.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Vinagre has
maybe
to go.
that's one
His
transfer.
price might
With
drop.
regard
His
to,
price might drop.
yeah, with regard to additional transfers, as Sumit suggested, now I'm not of the opinion that we should be taking a hit unless we have to completely revamp the team, even in which case we can play the wild card. So I'm not
Yeah.
very keen towards taking a -4 or a -8 for that.
So now to our next segment. It would be a captaincy choice for game week 5 for our TGD team. So let's fire on Sumit. Who do you think should be a captain? I think we should just listen to you and go for it. But I think if all I've got a lot of responses saying that Sumit picks good captains for the team, which he completely gets vetoed out. So I think Sumit, you just take a pick on a captain.
So I'm actually a bit confused. I mean, not confused. I would say like the best pick looks like Harry Kane, but for some reason I also feel Zaha would be a decent pick. I'm not really keen on Salah or De Bruyne or even Werner. Honestly, Werner would have been a really nice pick as a captain, but no, I'm very confused between Zaha and Harry Kane. I I just feel Harry Kane is like a go-to choice because of the form he's in, but it's just that West Ham, I think 2 games on the back-to-back have played some really decent football. So I like it's like the it's like my brain is saying Zaha, but the heart's saying Harry Kane. So I really don't know what to go with. I would actually want to take a punt and go on Zaha because we need to climb. So I guess I'll go with Wilfred Zaha. I mean, it's going to actually bite me in the back in the end, but I would actually go with Wilfred Zaha.
That's a good punt actually. Going to Zaha as captain, he's playing a Brighton squad. Brighton consider a lot of goals, so it's a good option.
Also, at the time of recording this video, I think I just got a notification that Kane starts for England. So maybe he might not be as fresh as Zaha would be. I don't know. I'm just probably adding to the speculation of Zaha giving us more returns, but looks like a decent punt to me.
My option for captaincy for game week 5 would be Harry Kane. Actually, I was going to go for Kevin De Bruyne. His record against Arsenal is just too good, but since he's flagged, I know he's going to play, but I don't want to risk my captaincy on somebody who's flagged. So I think I'd pick Harry Kane for this game week. Harry Kane has a good record against West Ham, so I'm someone who believes in previous records as well, and he's a man in form. So if you combine the two, then I think he would give a lot of points. And he's dropping deep and has a really good understanding with Son, who and he's playing those balls for Son to chase. So he's getting the assist, and he's got 3 goals, and he's on penalties. And you've seen the increase in the number of penalties this season. So I think Harry Kane is the option for me for game 5. So yeah. So what do you guys think on keeping Harry Kane? I mean, I know there was said the majority is on Zaha, and I think we've got our captain for game 5.
So, given that all three of us want Vinagre out, let's try and work out a solution where we can, pin down on one player to be replacing Vinagre. Now, I know that all three of us have different players chosen. But Arun, if you have to choose between my strategy and Sumit's strategy for a Vinagre replacement, whose strategy would you go with?
According to me, I'd pick your strategy and take in Roman Sainz to Vinagre because Ricardo Pereira will be back. When we don't know if Justin would play or not, I think Roman Sainz long term would be a more effective option than Justin would be. So I'm going with your strategy.
Okay, Sumit?
Well, I have to choose between Erling and Roman Size. I feel Roman Size is a safer option. Although I'm not really convinced that Wolves are going to keep a lot of clean sheets, but among the two, I would go with Roman Size.
Okay, then I think my vote is irrelevant now. But just for the record, I would have probably gone with Justin. Probably assuming that we would play a wild card like 3-4 game weeks from now when Pereira comes back. So we could have had that option to make that transfer.
All right, I guess Roman Size is the player we go with.
So hope you guys enjoyed the little tweak in our segment with the must-haves in our wildcard section, and hope you all found our strategy to be sensible, and hope you all have been tweaking your strategies over the international break, and keep following up with news for players returning back from their countries. So club action back again this weekend. So it's back, and this weekend was really boring, but now I think we have we'll enjoy this game week from now for the next month at least. So Hope you enjoyed this video, and do follow us on all social media platforms. And thank you. That's all.